Hello and welcome to the second part of the tutorial on Spring Data neo4j. What I want to show you now is how to create a relationship from both sides so that you can query both sides of the relationship, because in our example with release and song, what we of course want to do without having to code very much and without having to query the database multiple times. Of course, we also want to query all the songs that are on a release and do that from the release side. Now, right at the moment, you will see that there is no relationship defined on the release that goes to the song. So we would have to use quite complicated Cypher queries or whatever. But there's a very simple way to do it, to define the relationship also from the other side. And that's what we'll do in this video. Now, at the time that I'm recording this video, there is a bug in the neo4j server. So I cannot use the Docker container. I will have to use the sandbox. Now, if there's a Docker container available that has the version 4.2.10, then that's okay. That should work. And this sandbox already has the version 4.3.6. So that should be okay. And we can roll with this one. All right, so the first thing I want to do, of course, again, is to copy all the data to the sandbox. Right, so now we have the data. And then let's start coding. So what we will do, we'll take the appears on intermediate class for the relationship, and we'll just copy the whole file and rename it to appears on reverse. Add that to Git. I'm using Git here, so I'll have to add everything. If this doesn't appear at your side, it's not a problem. So never mind those little pop-ups. Okay, and the class has already been renamed for us by the IDE. It should be called appears on reverse. The ID definition and the song number definition, that of course stays the same because we're talking about the same relationship just from a different side. And what we want to do here is we want to change the target node from release to song. Of course, also change the name to song, and then in the getter definition, this should be song as well. Then it should be called get song and return the song. So that's that. That's what we have to do for the intermediate class. That's everything. Now we have to change the release. Okay, inside of the release, we have to add the list for the relationships. So that would be a list of appears on reverse. Let's call this songs. I need to import the list class here. The naming is not quite accurate because we should probably name that appears on reverse because it's not directly pointing to songs. Okay, yeah, well, so let's just do that. Appears on reverse. That makes it a little bit more clear and correct. So that's that. And then we have to annotate that this is a relationship of the type appears on, and the direction is relationship direction incoming. Okay, so let me just quickly show you what we did there in our database. So what you see here is this is the release, and there is this little arrowhead is pointing to the release. So we're seeing this is an incoming relationship. It has, of course, the same name because it's the same relationship, and it's coming from a song. So this is why the name is of course the same and the direction is incoming. Okay, so we only need to add getters and setters for this list. There you go. So there's only one more thing for us to do so that we can access the data. We'll have to create a repository. So again, we'll just copy the song repository and rename that to release repository. Then in my IDE, this has already been renamed for me up here, so that's correct. And of course, I need to change the data type here from song to release. And again, that's it. We don't need to do anything more to be able to access the database from the code. So let's go to the demo application. So now what we have to do is we have to define the release repository. Then it will tell us that this one is missing in the constructor. So we'll just add it. So the IDE does that for me again. Just add this to the constructor. And now this is the iteration that we did in the first tutorial. I'll just comment that out and we'll do the same thing, pretty much the same thing now from the other side. So we'll iterate through the releases. That comes from the release repository, and again we'll take all the nodes that we can find and then just system out print line release get name. So we'll print all the names for the releases and then iterate through the songs. Of course, we'll iterate through the relationships, not the songs. That's why naming is important. Okay, so in release, get appears on reverses. And then system out print line. Again, let's do a little indentation here. And then let's print from appears on reverse the song number. And then from appears on reverse get the song and then get the name of the song. Save this one and we're ready to start the application. And there you have it. So now we have the release and then we have the song number and the title of the song behind it. So now you can access relationships from both sides without having to do any Cypher queries or anything very complicated. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or remarks, put them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have fun programming.